Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Sydney Thompson.
I'm Monica Height.
And I'm Chelsea Duff. And this week, I'm taking over again. This one's straight out of my childhood. But we had a little Fifth Tuesday pop up in Halloween, a little Halloween Fifth Tuesday. And I just wanted to do a little throwback. And Sydney actually suggested this last year, so I'm gonna actually put a little blame on her as well.
Sydney
Suggested this last year, and I went, ooh,
Oh,
okay,
no.
I want to do that really bad.
I do not remember this in my defense.
Yeah, she threw it out because she
I
was
do
trying to
not
get me
recall.
off the scent of a Cinderella story. And we ended up doing practical magic last year. Look how accommodating I can be, actually. So this year, it was straight back to Sydney's suggestion. Thank you, Sydney, for this suggestion. 100% responsibility to Sydney. We are doing
Chelsea.
the Olsen twins.
Chelsea, take some
Don't
goddamn
blame me.
accountability.
Don't blame me.
Chelsea literally forced us to do this movie.
I said I would do other things. I just wouldn't get on board. You guys would just have to
We were
decide
in a
amongst
hostage
yourselves.
negotiation.
We were. She had a
Um,
gun to my head.
Chelsea says, I didn't know.
And you're
we're
alive,
not
aren't you?
negotiating with
Yeah,
terrorists.
And
because
you're
I-
alive, aren't you? And we're doing double Toil and Trouble, and we're all really thrilled about it. We're all excited.
Apparently, we negotiated with terrorists. Terrorists being Chelsea.
And
Look at
I
her right now.
won.
We
And I
literally did.
won.
Wait, no, okay, we negotiated because you gave us both. You gave us both an inch. You gave us both a movie that you
And
didn't
that's
care
how
about.
it works. Negotiating.
With
We were
known
scared for our
I'm writing a
lives.
book about,
Also.
I'm writing a
Chelsea
book
Duff.
about business. You're welcome.
We were scared for our lives, just so you know.
I was
You were.
terrified. I was
And
angry.
you should be, and you should never defy me again. But anyway, if you've never seen Double Toil and Trouble, first of all, where were you in the 90s? Because the Olsen twins were everywhere, and I was following them around like a little puppy.
Then.
But if you haven't seen, like Monica hadn't seen, if it just escaped your notice back in the day, it's not too late to dial in. But I'll tell you what the IMDb logline is, just in case. It reads, on Halloween night, two precocious little girls try to save their parents from their nasty, from their nasty old capitalist aunt's greedy clutches. That's what it says on here. Magic abounds and they meet mysterious new friends along the way. Slay! Absolute fucking slay. Who wrote that? Who came on here and wrote that?
Mary-Kate herself.
It was Elizabeth Olsen came on here and she said they're nasty old capitalist aunt's greedy clutches. Love that. That's a
There
good
were a
summary.
lot
That's
of
actually a perfect
themes.
summary. So
There are a lot of themes in this movie. Themes were theming. Themes
were
were bounding.
theming. And slays were slaying. So I don't think that can be denied. There's a lot of slaying happening in this movie. So you don't agree? You don't immediately want to hop on board and say I changed my mind about Double Toil and Trouble. I'm so glad we're doing it.
I watched.
I'm hearing
the
a lot of silence. I
movie.
don't understand.
I watched the movie and I'm wearing a witch hat for you, and I didn't hate it. Like, there's not a lot to hate. Well, there's some things to hate. There's
a couple things you could hate. Yeah, there's a couple things you could hate.
I
Those are
received
some
a text
90s,
message
maybe.
in the group text last night that made me terrified to watch
Yeah,
this movie.
Sydney poisoned the well a little bit.
I did not fully understand what Sydney's text even said, and I was like, I'm not going, not because you didn't write it right. I like read it once, and I was like, what?
I'm
and I was
not
like,
dealing
we're
with
not
this.
gonna read it again. I was like, I'm not watching the movie till tomorrow, so I'm not touching that. But you know, it starts out great. Sleigh baby costumes all around the town. Who's that little Americana girl? Miss America.
I know, she's so
costume.
cute.
She's so cute. Her costume's so cute. It's a great
There's
outfit.
lots of cute little kids. The Olsens are so cute in this movie.
Here's my thing.
Are adorable.
I just anything from childhood being so nostalgic and just desperately craving what holidays looked like back in the day, because like the whole aesthetics.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Halloween now is very much like blow ups that have bad like facial features. You know what I mean? Like,
What is a blow up? What do you
do y'all
What
know,
do you mean?
do they not have
like
like
an inflatable
like a yard
thing?
blow up that's just in everybody's
Oh, okay.
yards, right?
Okay. We were talking about things earlier. I was like, what is blowing up, Sydney? What is this violent Halloween?
What is it? But just like
no, I
That's
know
another
what
part
you
of
mean.
my. Oh, I was gonna make actually. Let me not make.
No, I know.
Paris
I almost
jokes.
made the same joke. I almost made the same joke, and then I was like, we're gonna take a step.
Let me also take a step back.
wait, no,
We're
I
taking
want
step
both
back,
of y'all
yeah.
to step into this. Come
No,
on.
we're not doing it. I'm
And
drinking some
I
water.
will explode your whole family if you don't say the Olsen twins are the stars of our generation.
I mean, they are.
Chelsea.
We
Chelsea.
literally made them billionaires. The chokehold
They-
that
yeah.
the Olsen twins had on girls
chokehold
born
that they had
between
on me. I was like,
1988 and
yeah.
2004 or 1994. That like
Dude.
specific demographic.
They had me. They had me.
Specifically.
Yeah.
No, that's my first time I ever remember being starstruck. I don't know if you cut this out of the last episode, but I'm leaning into it now. I was a small child and they went to the same school that I went to and they were in high school. And I was like, I was
My
very
brother
excited.
was in the same grade as their sister, and he had a party one year that he invited the whole grade to. And I was like, she's gonna come, and I'm gonna meet her, and I'm gonna be like, this is my brother's party. Your siblings are also really cool. I don't know if we're like really vibing right now. But they weren't friends, so actually she did not come, so I didn't get my moment.
Oh,
It's like
dude.
we're really gonna hit it off because we both have siblings, and it's
I would
we're gonna
never-
bond over this.
I would never forgive my brother for that, actually. What do you mean you didn't befriend her so I could then try and befriend her?
It was really sad
yeah.
for me.
Once again, though, I still only saw the volcano one.
Monica,
but that
we need to
volcano
do a
one-
Mary-Kate and Ashley
Is that one
Olsen
called Island
watch
in the
party.
Sun? Yeah, what's wrong with you? You missed out on a lot.
I talked to my parents.
Do you not even know
I
the
had
songs?
old parents. They didn't know what was going
Holiday
on.
in the Sun.
Monica,
They
do you not do? They used to do like sleepover things, and they'd be like, "Give me pizza."
Okay, well, I've seen that because I've seen that fucked up version. That's exactly this. That's what I've seen. But I saw that like 10 years ago instead of 30 years ago. And
You didn't
I
read
saw
the
the
Olsen
joke
and Olsen Detective
version.
Agency novels and watch the TV show.
God, I loved the
Olsen and
novels.
Olsen Detective Agency will solve any crime by dinner time.
That's very cute. I watched Full House.
Brother for sale.
Only 50 cents.
25 cents.
They're for sale. It's not
See,
a great expense.
expense.
You can
You
hug
can
him, you can love him,
fuck
you
him,
can buy or
no
rent.
This is the thing. The reason that I was so fucking pissed that we chose this movie is because we could have chose one where all three of us had a fun nostalgic time, but instead
I
we
didn't
chose
have
one
a fun
where
nostalgic time
you
with the
guys
other ones
get
you're
to do
suggesting.
that.
I don't have
And-
that connection with the other one. That's why I didn't want to do it. And that's why I held your
Well,
family
you'd
hostage.
at least
I tied them
seen
up in
it.
my basement.
Chelsea said, this is your father. I will."
I've got him. I've got him over here. If you value his life, you will do Olsen Twins movie.
He was off grid.
He was about to be on the billboard.
Yeah,
Again, on the
Billboard
camera. That's a
Dad.
Billboard Dad reference.
We're gonna put your dad on a billboard.
He's going to be in witness protection program, just like our lips are sealed.
No, all this going right over my head.
He'll have to go to the Olympics, just like that one where they drive to the Olympics.
I'm gleaning
That was
so
really
much.
boring, actually.
I'm
That was
learning a
really
lot.
boring, actually. He'll have to switch goals, just like in switching goals.
I hope that the listeners at home are understanding these jokes and laughing as hard as Sydney and Chelsea are. I have no idea what's going on. Chelsea is dying, literally.
I'm a little sick. I'm a
actively.
little sick. That's why I needed comfort movie. Thank you guys so much for being so sweet to me in my time of need.
Oh my god, of
Wow.
course.
Let me switch
she
gears.
is.
Let me switch gears.
Look at this gaslighting happening.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are
Oh,
so
she's
sweet.
so
I really
nice
feel
now.
loved.
Seconds ago,
cared
she had my
for.
phone.
It's like warm soup.
Okay, unhinged on Halloween. It is our God-given right. It's
Happy
our God-given right.
Halloween!
Happy
Thank
Halloween.
you. You guys are the best.
But that I had fun. I thought
You thought it was
this
cute?
is fun. I thought it was cute.
Okay.
I also thought that I think at least half the charm of the Mary-Kate and Ashley movies are how many times they accidentally break the fourth wall because they're little children. I was shocked. I was not shocked, it makes sense, but I was like, she's looking into my soul. Especially in the scenes where like there's another character on the screen and they are an adult and they're not breaking the fourth wall and they're supposed to be looking at the same thing. That happened like 3 different times. And it really added to the charm for me, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I love the little, like, type of comedy that this movie has, and like their little comedy acting that they do, where they're like do a little one-liner, and I'm like,
they're so sassy.
Okay, queens,
It's like
go
a
on.
sitcom.
Yeah, it's very cute.
That's why they said we need Will from Will and Grace to come play the dad, even though I don't think Will and Grace had started yet.
No, I don't think so. This is early days for him. He is so hot.
He's
What's his
so
name?
hot
Eric
in
McCormack.
this.
Eric McCormack.
His
Is he gay in
hair,
real life?
the hat, no.
Damn.
I think
Straight in real life. Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
famously not gay in real life.
But he did a great.
90s.
He did us up right on TV.
Oh yeah, he played a great gay. He did a great job. Oh my god, Deborah Messing. Sorry, I'm just looking at hot people now. But he was absolutely the dream man in this. The hair, the glasses,
The
pants,
denim on denim.
the denim.
Yeah.
Where I need to find these type of pants for my fiance that go up a little higher, a little bit higher. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know why, but like denim on denim doesn't hit as hard as like vintage denim on denim.
Yeah, it needs to be vintage.
Right?
100%.
Like
it's because the vintage denim is just such good quality and it's got more structure to it. It really holds you in.
But also too, like the
know?
shirts also, like they're a
Yeah.
little bit thicker because like now they're like very thin and like shirt material. I'm like, this is a denim. This doesn't count.
They're not putting their pussies in it anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. He was so hot, but his business was failing, you know?
Because of recession, Monica. It wasn't his fault. He's good at his job. Didn't you hear his wife?
Yeah.
No.
She's been in an episode of X-Files. Did that endear you to this movie?
I noticed that. I was looking at her because I thought she looked like this girl from our high school. And I was like, is that her mom? And then it wasn't. It's not.
Oh.
It's not her mom. It's not her mom. It could have been.
It could have been.
It wasn't.
Could have been.
It wasn't
But it
her
wasn't.
mom. But then I saw she was pathologist on X-Files.
Yes.
And I was like, go off, Kelly Fox.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I loved her outfit too. Like the shirt and the little tie and the big oversized blazer. The fashion was a big part of this for me.
Yeah, I mean, did you see Aunt Agatha's outfits? She was slaying.
It was
especially when she had her titties out in that one scene. I was like, okay, Agatha.
Agatha all along. Dude, Cloris Leachman is hot.
She is hot.
That was another big takeaway that I had from this movie. Cloris Leachman, hot. Oscar, the clown guy.
Oscar the Magic Clown.
Hot. With his little fucking earring later on.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Sexy bitch.
Oscar, Phil Fondacaro.
Ever watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Uh-huh.
He is in that. He like
Oh, really?
Yeah. It took me forever to be like, how do I know this actor? Like where do I know him from? And I was like, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. He is like in love with Sabrina. Tries and like con her into marrying him like multiple times. And I was like, this is exactly where I know him from.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 5 episodes, I see.
He was also in Touched by an Angel, which
I
I always thought was like a really creepy name.
My mom liked that, so
it
probably had
great
Republican
show.
vibes, but I'm sure it was
And
good.
Walker, Texas Ranger. Wow.
He was also
in
in
the Polar Express.
Willow in 1988, which I feel like Leo is maybe gonna have been a fan of, is my prediction. Leo, weigh in on in the Discord. Tell us if that's true.
But yeah, I thought, the cast of characters was great. I thought we are gonna get more of these funny kids at the beginning, though. I really liked the little boy who looked sad all the time and then made the pumpkin barf out of its eye.
Yeah,
That
that was
was really
great.
that was
The
very
pumpkin
upsetting to me.
guts. Yeah, I love that.
I felt actually, I don't usually feel queasy watching horror movies, but instead I watched Double Double Toil and Trouble, and the pumpkin guts made me feel like I was gonna barf
Not
a little
me.
bit. I was really hungry when I was watching this, and I was like, I can't see that right now, actually.
Yeah. I will say though, with the pumpkin carving competition at the Halloween party where Oscar the Magic Clown was being a total slay, that is one of the problematic points against this movie because all the kids carved their pumpkins to look like themselves, and it got a little offensive for one of the children a little bit.
Oh. For the Asian girl? Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
they gave her squinty-eyed pumpkin.
Oh, dude. I didn't notice that they looked like their people until
Yeah, it was like glasses kid has glasses pumpkin, and then Asian girl has squinty-eyed pumpkin, and then sad-eyed boy has sad-eyed pumpkin, and then Kelly and
The
Lynn have
twins.
normal pumpkins that are identical
Well,
because they
their
don't have their own
pumpkin,
identities.
it was only at the end with their one that I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it kind of looks like them, but then I didn't rewind.
Oh, that's so interesting. I was
I
like, these are
didn't
the only ones that
rewatch.
don't look like them.
Oh, I thought that they're like just the way that their eye shape was similar. My main takeaway from that, I missed that part. That's classic 90s. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's
My takeaway was these children could never carve pumpkins that well.
No,
Completely
had some help.
unrealistic. They definitely had some help. I was like right away a knock for unrealism in this film about little girl witches.
really not realistic.
Took me out of it.
What was
Honestly,
super
took me out
realistic
of
about
it.
this movie though? The way that latchkey kids were allowed to just kind of run around. They really leaned into that 90s. You can leave your kids in the car. You can let
We
them
did
go
that,
trick-or-treating by themselves. I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like that was
They're 7. Don't
Yeah.
worry
Great
about it. They can
bags.
trick-or-treat alone. It's fine.
we did too. Like there was always a parent vaguely around, but like they were not walking right next to us. Like it would be like you'd walk around, you'd go to like 3 or 4 houses, your parents would like chit chat with one of the neighbors that they liked passing out candy, and then like your parents would like slowly catch up with you because you were just running around willy-nilly.
They were like, the world is safe because 24/7 news hasn't been invented yet.
Absolutely 100% can't relate because I was incredibly sheltered and my mom wouldn't let me do shit when I was a kid. And until I was a teen, I didn't go to any parties in fucking high school even. So
I wouldn't have been allowed to
sounds
trick or treat
interesting.
alone like that, but I loved to stay behind in the car while my mom went in wherever she was going. That was such a slay for me.
With the
I
dog.
loved that.
Yeah. That was crazy. That was crazy to me. I really liked the first instance of magic in the movie. I liked that. I liked that whole gag where they got the magic wand. The wand was somehow imbued with real magic, or it was a conduit for the magic that lived innate within the twins.
Yeah,
I think it was their inner innate witchiness. There's actually a lot of crossover between this movie and The Craft, which we covered a couple of weeks ago. So
I know. Oh, what was the other?
The red lights, when she's speeding through the red lights and she's turning them all green with her magic.
True.
Yes, there's that. Then there's also I wanted to do a little like compare and contrast moment between Art the Clown and Oscar the Magic Clown.
Yes.
And just like see how effective they are as clowns in spooky films. What do we think? What do we think? There's a lot.
I think Oscar the Magic Clown could take Art any day, and the power of friendship would help him prevail.
Yeah,
I actually agree. I love him.
Also, another Craft similarity is the use of the mirror in the magic.
That mirror was a TV screen so hard that I was like, wow, I love 90s special effects. But I honestly, it was a strangely shaped screen that they got there. So it's a big slay.
If you really
High
love
budget.
90s special effects, I bet you loved when they were when they went to Madame Lulu's, love her by the way, and how they just like put a round circle, like roughly
Right.
speaking, over the crystal, like not even
And it was just,
perfectly
like, a
on, just like kind of
teeny-
like in the vicinity. Yeah.
I really liked that.
Slay.
Another
That was
thing
a
that
good
I
one.
liked, so weird that they haven't done a like full blown restoration of Double Double Toil and Trouble.
It's so weird.
that they
That's
haven't done that.
crazy.
But there are multiple times throughout the movie where like it was kind of doubled and you couldn't really see what was going on. It was like blurry, at least where when I was watching it. Like the
That might have been your
film, like
internet.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was on my iPad. It was like
Mm.
it wasn't like it was blurry. It was like the film was fucked up. I don't know how to describe it. It
I can't
happens
say I noticed
sometimes.
that, but I bought it on Amazon years ago because I said I
Yeah.
must own this movie.
I bought it through Apple because it was like $3.99 to rent and $5.99 to own, and I was like, well, I'll just buy it. So now I own it.
Just buy it. It's an investment purchase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's gonna double in value by this time next year.
Mm.
I bought it by accident on Adam's Amazon and he well, I
He's
didn't
gonna
buy
be
it.
really
I rented
grateful.
it. But I bought it by accident with his like credit card points and he thought that he was experiencing fraud. So that's what I did.
Wow. Okay, you're a bad witch.
Yeah, I'm a bad witch. I'm doing light fraud on my
Light
fiance's
fraud.
Amazon account.
I love frauding my fiance.
I love defrauding my fiance.
Monica, those are y'all are basically married at this point, so those are your credit card points.
Those are your credit card. That's community property.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's mine is yours, baby. So I'm gonna buy double Toil and Trouble starring Mary-Kate and Ashley
This time
Olsen.
next year, it's gonna be worth $7.99 on Amazon. Just you wait.
Here's something I wanted to bring up. The Gravedigger guy.
Love
Loved him. He was giving like Don Knotts vibes to me.
Yeah.
Mm.
From
Yeah, no, I
what
see
was
that.
the one
Mr.
that
Chicken, Ghost of Mr. Chicken.
goes to Mr. Chicken, classic old-timey comedy man, Don Knotts. He also looks like him. He looks like him. He was given those vibes. Why does he look like he's dead like that? I don't know if he was in anything else because his picture on IMDb is
Is
him
from this
as
movie?
the Gravedigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's surprising to me
He was
because
in Wrong
he's
Turn.
incredible.
He was old man in Wrong Turn.
Oh, thank
He
God.
passed away in
There you go.
2011. May he rest in peace.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. King. He was in a bunch of stuff. He was in The Cube. He was in Cube. Excuse me. Cube
He's also in
is
Wrong Turn 2, Dead End. Wow,
Oh my
so
God.
he was an important part of that movie. I haven't seen either of those yet, but you have, right?
I saw a Wrong Turn, and it has douche coup in it. But I
Ooh, slay.
didn't say we have to do it on the podcast, and that tells you a lot. I watched it and I was like, I'm gonna be like, whoa. No, it was fine. It was fine. It was fine.
It's all right.
It was
Yeah,
fine.
it
It was
fine.
fine. I thought it was gonna be like really fucked up, like Hills Have Eyes. No. Don't worry. So you can watch it and not be fucked up, but you're not gonna watch it and be like, that's Slade also. Too bad.
Okay.
But maybe if I had realized that the old man was Wayne, everything would have been different. But yeah, I really liked him, and I really liked that he was like terrified of Aunt Agatha, but then he was also like, I'm gonna tell you everything possible.
He has no
so you
loyalty
can
to her. This
Yeah.
is actually what was we had a poll question on Spotify a couple of months ago where the sneaky inside of the poll question was, is it better to be feared or loved? Clearly not feared because he put Agatha's shit on blast and that was her undoing.
He's really just not thinking things through.
Sometimes
I
you
think
just
he's
like to have a little
strategizing.
goss sesh with
That's so true,
7-year-old.
though, also.
With
Yeah.
7-year-old children.
Sometimes you
7-year-olds
go,
are sometimes the best people to goss with. They get really into it, especially
You're like, "Oh
if
my
you've got a
God."
good story.
oh my God, tell me more.
I'm down to goss with a child, but only if it won't I don't know. They can't keep their mouth shut though. That's
Yeah.
the
You've got to
thing.
be selective about what you're gossiping about. And also, you never
don't
tell
know.
your own business. The gravedigger was right, which is why he was telling Agatha's business.
And also, if you do it perched in a tree, that's extra bonus points.
Yeah.
That's
Everybody
true.
knows
That's true.
this.
Agatha's a real bitch though, gotta say. I understand that she's evil, but one, giving a bad rap to witches, they're not all evil, but I did love that they're like, by the way, they're all evil.
Right.
No, he said some witches are good and some are bad. He specifically said.
Yeah,
Well,
but
her
all the ones that we're
specific-
seeing.
That's what I mean. All the
Her
ones that are in
coven,
the
yeah.
her coven, they're like, we love that you put your sister in the mirror. We think that fucking rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like,
and
they're
it
trying
does.
to undo
I mean,
all
it
my
is
bad
kind of
work.
slay magic, by the way.
Yeah, she's very impressive. She leads the coven, so she found a group of like-minded witches and wizards and goblins and etc.
Ghouls.
And she gathered her crew. I'm sure there are good witch gatherings out there, but they're not going to associate with these evil witches.
It's true. That's
When
true.
Sophia is learning her own witchcraft because she was also interested in magic before the moonstone was kept from her and she was gaslit into thinking that magic wasn't real, she would have been a good witch. Kelly and Lynn, they're good witches.
See?
Okay. Yeah. They're good. They're good. I thought the real interesting exploration here, and you could tell me this, y'all, because you've seen the other ones of the Olsen twin movies. Do they all explore? Do I like being a twin or do I not like being a twin? Or is that just this one?
I would say that's
'Cause-
primarily this one. But there are other, like this one in particular, they're really like leaning into the dressing them identical thing as well. Whereas like usually it's like Mary-Kate's the sporty one and Ashley's
Yeah.
the feminine one.
Right. I want. So, there's obviously like a pink twin and a purple twin, right? And
I would say
Ashley.
Mary-Kate's like a blue twin. Generally
she's
speaking.
she's a purple twin.
If it's pink or purple, yeah.
But
At
like,
the beginning, it was orange and purple, but it changes throughout. Keep going. I catch your drift.
But like, there's pink girlies and purple girlies, right?
Sure.
Obviously, Chelsea is a pink girly.
Yeah.
I feel Monica and I are very much purple girlies.
Yeah, I
I'm
think.
putting on purple lipstick right now. Historically, I didn't like purple that much, but I love lavender. And so
Historically, I didn't like
Yes.
pink when I was younger because I was like too girly. And
I really liked pink when I was younger.
Okay, so we've switched.
Wow.
That's once again,
I
we
was
contain
always
multitudes.
a purple girly, also a lime green girly.
I see that for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I was
Monica's
always-
wearing her witchy merch.
Look at our
So-
yobs on this art.
Our yobs are
Damn.
slaying. We're
If
gonna
you
have
got
to
your
blur
post
our
your
yobbies
fucking-
out.
I know. Post your pictures of you and your merch if you got merch from our most recent drop or the last
Hashtag
drop
Spooky Tuesday
too.
swag.
Yeah, send us
Yeah,
pictures of
hashtag
you and your
Spooky Tuesday
merch.
swag. Yeah, but I want to see. Some people have sent it to us personally, but I don't know if they want me
Consent,
to post them on
yeah.
our story. So I'll ask. But we've got some very cute cuties wearing the beanie, wearing the sweatshirt, wearing the shirt. It's very cute. And thank you guys again for supporting us. It came just in time for Halloween. Oh my god, just like we said, we'd never lie.
Yay.
It's not like
We've
we
never
planned
lied
that.
one time.
Not once.
Not once. What were we talking about? Oh. Double Toil and Trouble.
Yeah.
And purple girlies and pink girlies. Okay, this is what it was. The twin thing. And they're like, oh, we hate being twins. We want to
It's
be
really just
individuals.
Lynn. Lynn is the one who's being a bitch about it.
Well, mom and dad are being
They're
the
not helping.
ultimate bitches because the dad, whose name is Don, by the way, Don is like, oh, well, they're just kids. There's nothing we can do. They'll get over it. And I'm like, I actually have an idea of what you could do. You could stop dressing them the exact same so they could feel like individuals.
Yeah.
That's something you could do right there. And
Something
he's
to think
no,
about.
No, 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 no.
He's like,
There's
you don't
nothing that
understand.
we, as
My
parents,
wife dresses them, and it's not my business.
like, you should be dressing
Dawn,
them. You got
step
those
up.
sexy pants, Dawn. You've got a fashion sense. Get in there.
I think the mom must have been really into having twin aunts growing up. And so she's like, and I'm going to have twins one day and I'm going to dress them alike. And then she did have twins and she was like, and I'm going to dress them alike.
Oh my God, wait, stop. That's the moment. Let's talk about the flashback.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
What
Yes,
were
because
those
earlier
wigs?
before we started recording, I was thinking about those when baby bangs
The
came up
baby
in the
bangs?
conversation.
I'll become.
I love that it
baby
was in
bangs
black
for
and
this.
white.
Can I make these into baby bangs for this? No, I can't. Thank God. Those were heinous. Those were heinous wigs. Those were heinous wigs.
Well, what
That
are you
was
gonna do?
hilarious.
It's the 40s.
That's what people looked like in the
That's
40s.
just how it
They
was
had
in the
bad
That's just
hair.
how it was.
Historically, they actually, that's not how, well, maybe for kids, it'd be hard to put them in the whole little do.
Mm-hmm.
But we just did the others on Queer Cinema Catch Up, and that's set in the 40s. And those little kids have immaculate hair. They have beautiful hair, but I guess they were in Jersey. Not New Jersey. The
Yeah,
original
Europe,
Jersey.
The
Jersey.
original Jersey.
The
OG Jersey.
Oh, Jersey.
Oh, Jersey.
That episode
Yeah.
comes out in just a few days, by the way. I think on Halloween proper. If you want to
Yes.
go to YouTube and look up Queer
Oh,
Cinema Catch Up, you can find us talking about the others. And if you're like, this isn't spooky enough for me, well, don't worry. Bonus episode on Queer Cinema Catch Up.
yeah. It's going to be sick. It was really, really fun. They're so sweet.
It was fun.
Those terrible wigs. I felt bad for them. And also, I don't know why I was so shocked when it was revealed that they're mean to those twins were mean to each other. Like, I knew that Agatha
Only
was
one's
bad or
mean.
whatever.
Yeah,
I know.
only Agatha mean.
She's been mean her whole life. Yep.
She's always been mean.
She's always
been mean.
She's rotten to the core.
Yeah, exactly. The thesis statement here is that Agatha is bad and there's no coming back for her, and so it's fine to leave her in the mirror for the rest of eternity. As it turns out, I was like,
As it
"Oh,
turns out,
way harsh
yeah.
tie."
Well, she did trap her sister in mirror for 7 years and
Enslaved her boy toy,
her
George.
BF. Yeah. She's been terrorizing
she's a
the
powerful
community.
In one breath, she did both of those things. Trapped Sissy and made George forget anything he knew except for fine dining and breathing.
And also abused Sophia for the 50 years in between finding the moonstone and trapping her in the mirror, because the whole thing is Sophia's like, I'm finally running away. I found somebody to love me. And she's like, nobody's ever gonna love you, bitch. And
She
it's
literally makes her life miserable. She's
yeah,
like,
George
I'm
is
using
right
the
there.
moonstone to make her life miserable.
Agatha is such a cunt, but also she is serving cunt. So
I
what are you
love
gonna
the
do?
name Agatha also.
That's such a good name.
And she's got a lot of fun one-liners too, and they're so bitchy. But when Dawn and the mom, what's the mom's name? Does anybody know? I guess it's not
Christine
that important.
Farmer.
Christine. When Dawn and Christine come ring the doorbell, George is like, should I go get the door? And she's like, no, I'll go get the door. You stay here and be filthy rich. And it's like, okay, slay, girl. She's throwing out one-liners left and right.
There's a lot of one-liners in this whole movie. I love the comedy voice, the comedic voice of the film is hilarious. I miss the 90s.
Family's just strangers who happen to be related. Get him, girl. You tell him.
Get after him. Ugh. Okay, let's talk about Mr. N real quick. I didn't know that was his name until right now. That's an interesting character that they had in this movie. I was like, oh, that's so weird. They had this little weird blip that they had to have a weird thing with a homeless man. Cool. And then I was like, oh no, he's gonna be in the whole movie. I love him.
Be in the whole movie. Yeah. I think the intentions of what they were doing was collecting a ragtag group of marginalized people who can come together to do a found family adventure.
Yes.
Except they really kind of went, he's lazy and he doesn't have a job. And then they went, actually, he needs to learn a lesson, which is that money isn't everything. And it's like, he lives under a bridge. Maybe money is important for some things. I don't know. Girl. I don't know.
Okay,
The-
this is where his like
That's
character
why Sydney sent
specifically
text.
was
Yeah.
my text. One, I'm sorry, there's no way that the community wouldn't be in uproar if these two little girls were like walking around with a homeless man.
It's the 90s, girl.
Yeah, they would
Everybody's just
still be
chilling.
no. There would be an uproar. Everybody would be calling the cops on them. Unfortunately, but true. And then also too, the twins with their conservative little talking points. One literally says, "Well, have you ever thought about getting a job?"
I've never thought about getting a job. Girl, shut up.
I was like, what
They
is
love
this?
They are so sassy. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're like, we would have knocked on the door to your house if you had a house.
House.
Like, stop. Kelly Lynn, you're better
Young
than this.
Republicans.
Seriously. And they're like, yeah, there's a place downtown that you can go. And I'm like, okay, thank you for sharing resources. But he's just like, no, I don't want a handout. I want to become independently wealthy. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know what was going on. Also, his characterization, he was like British. He was like a British gay man who was homeless. That was what was happening.
I
to
think
me.
he and Madame Lulu are exes. And I think that they used to do like a
bisexual
drag
then.
show together, and like she would perform drag, and he would be like the hype man who goes around and like collects the tip dollars for her. But then they had a contentious breakup. And so now they just like are so bitchy to each other, but they also queen out together.
Yeah.
I was also dying over his costuming. Like his little like fingerless gloves that were actually like kind of like fancy cycling gloves when you looked at them closely. And then he was wearing like a wool sweater with no holes in it. And like he had this like fancy man outfit. His
Just because I live under
hat.
a bridge doesn't mean I can't slay.
He was slaying, but it was just really funny. Like half of it was like, here is a caricature of a homeless man. Oh my god. It was a lot. It was a lot. I ended up loving him, but it took me a long time. I had to stop cringing for a while.
Sure. That's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they could certainly handle that more deftly. And I think a lot of that is the 90s, because when they get back to Oscar the Magic Clown, you can kind of see more of like what they're going for with their ragtag group.
I didn't feel necessarily offended by, I don't know if not anything with Oscar, but like most things with Oscar seem to be handled pretty well. You know, not amazingly. It was a little on the nose, but like
Here's the thing, they didn't
Mr. N.
with Oscar, they did call him a little person. They didn't say the M word. I was very impressed by the early 90s with that.
Here is part of it, I think. The actor who plays Oscar the Magic Clown,
Phil Fondacaro.
Phil Fondacaro, he is really a little person, so he's a little person on set who can be like, let's be respectful and polite to little people. Whereas the actor who plays Mr. N, Meshach Taylor, I think is how you say his name, he's a famous actor. So he's not really an unhoused person who was in a position to be advocating for respectful portrayals of unhoused people. Not to say that he maybe didn't have input, and that maybe it certainly could have been worse. But you know, he's not part of that community to be advocating in the same way. He just was an actor who stepped into a role. So, and he's famous. Like my dad, I watched this movie with my dad, and my dad recognized him right away because he is an Emmy-nominated Oscar who is in 152 episodes of Designing Women.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was also in
anything
before
Designing
Survival
Women?
Guide as one of the teachers.
Oh,
You've
no
never
way.
seen Designing Women, you must. It is
I've never seen Designing
incredible.
Women.
Designing Women, The Nanny, and Golden Girls were my favorite shows growing up, and I think that explains a lot about me.
Oh my god, he was in 2 episodes of Criminal Minds, so I'm
Yes, he
seated.
was.
Oh,
Yeah, they
God.
assembled a good group.
And
They assembled
Hannah
a good group.
Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he was in the movie Mannequin. And it looks like
I
possibly a
love the movie
Mannequin sequel.
Mannequin.
I don't know that I knew that there was a Mannequin sequel,
I didn't
but
know that Mannequin had a sequel.
I've never seen
Mannequin on the
Mannequin
Move could have
or
been a
heard of
short
it.
film. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Could have been a
I have
straight to
no
TV
idea.
sequel. I don't know the deal.
I've literally never heard of this before in my life.
Well, it had Christy Swanson in it, who played Buffy in the Buffy movie.
I liked his acting though. He was very funny and
Yeah,
he had
he's
a
fun.
lot of energy. And
And he's just chilling. He's like,
Yeah.
I am an adult, but that doesn't mean I'm really that responsible for these two kids. They kind of stumbled upon me, and I'm like going along because there is a jewel at stake here. But that doesn't mean I need to take full responsibility for these 7-year-olds. It's kind of not my problem.
Yeah, exactly. And I loved the pumpkin part. The pumpkin part was very important to me. I love that they were in the back of a pumpkin mobile. That's not what it's
Singing
called at all.
the song that gets on everybody's nerves.
Yeah.
That I was so mad. I was actually really furious at that point because I was like, I forgot that song existed. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Mhm.
And now I'm going to remember it all the time.
They're also singing it a little differently than how I remembered it, but like they loop back into I won't sing it because I respect all of you. But
That's so sweet of you.
I am really a giver. I don't know if you can tell that by this episode, but I'm like really a sweetheart I'm at my core. But they take the chunk that's like I thought was just part of the repeating chorus in general, and they say that's just this part. That's just the I don't know parts of song names. Anyway, but yeah, I love how they're hiding in the back of the pumpkin truck, and I love how that circles back later when they're at the witches gathering and they're making
Yes.
announcements, and they're like, our pumpkin delivery guy is usually super reliable, but he had a weird random accident today. Not his
Right.
fault. He's a great businessman. It was out of his hands, but yeah, we don't have our pumpkin delivery this year.
And
That was
everybody
so
was like,
funny.
"Oh my god, I
Oh my
can't believe that
God.
happened."
I loved the announcements at the witches gathering. If you guys haven't paid your dues yet, dues were due last week, so everybody needs to get on that.
So
They just
funny.
had a lot of really funny jokes in this movie. I think it's so
There's so many
funny.
good jokes. I loved also Oscar's mobile. I don't know.
Yes, his little.
his
I love his
Oscar
teeny
mobile.
tiny house.
I love his
Oh.
super accessible house.
I loved his house. His house was very well decorated as well.
Mhm.
I just can't get over his outfit, man. He's a hot guy, okay?
He's
And
a
so
hot
I'm
guy, and
glad
he's like, I hide
he
away
had-
so nobody can see me. And it's like, but you're hot.
that you're hot. He had such hot, cool hair.
I don't usually
The
let people
fucking
see me out of my
earring.
costume, but
Oh,
you're
yeah.
hot.
But you're
The
like
vest.
hot, short king.
It was a cool vest. I loved his outfit. I was like, slay, 10 out of 10. The earring, anyone wear an earring, you're the sexiest man alive immediately.
Yeah.
Earring plus long hair. Whew. Oscar. And he's got a cool car. And he can think on his feet. He had good plans. Love you, Mr. N, but you had bad plans all the time. That's the other thing. They also made him a fucking idiot. Made him a fucking idiot the whole time. Every single thing that he did was the wrong thing. Literally every single time until he was literally a crow. And then he started helping a little bit more when he was a crow. I thought they did a good job making the crow look like it was talking too. I was like, I wonder what they did to that crow to make it move its mouth that much.
Crows are very smart. They probably said,
Yes.
hey, crow, can you act on camera for us? And the crow went, okay.
The crow was like,
Do you
"Of
have shiny
course."
coin?
Yeah.
I'll do anything for
I want to
shiny coin.
befriend. This just made me think about how I still want to befriend a crow and do the whole thing where you give them little presents or
I've been
whatever.
doing that, and they like to hang out in like the trees in my backyard, and so they love pistachios.
Good to know.
It's a high value treat for the crows.
Anything for
I
the crows.
will say, in defense of Mr. N, is he kind of a flop sometimes? Yes, but what's wrong with being a flop? And also, he's good at admitting when he's wrong, which is a good skill to have, and a lot of people don't have.
He's not
Because
an
he's like,
unredeemable
that house is not
person.
tiny. It's just looks tiny because it's so far away. And then they take 2 steps and they're there. And he goes, oopsie, never mind. You guys were right.
Oh no.
What?
What?
Meshach Taylor is also dead. Why is everybody dead?
Wow.
No.
Oh. May he rest in peace. He was great in
R.I.P..
this. It's not his fault that his character was written this way.
No,
And
he's
parts
slayed.
of it were very funny. Parts of it were funny, but it was just sad because I wish that he could do something cool. He was like when they were at the witches function. Okay, when they get to the witches function and they have the slayest makeup of all time on that is Chelsea is wearing right now. I loved that.
They
Were
look
they
so
supposed to be
cute.
little kitties or
Little
little
rats?
mice or little foxes? My mind went to fox, but I think they might have
Could
been
be.
supposed to be rats.
I thought rat, but who's to say? Chelsea is like giving raccoon to me.
A little
Raccoon
bit.
realness.
And honestly, like,
Honestly, when I put
she's
this on, I was like,
vibrating
this is
raccoon
giving
energy.
Nightman from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I know what that is, but I haven't seen it. So I don't know what Nightman looks like. But I know the song and I love that song. Yeah, love that makeup so much. I just love the gags in like little kid movies where they're
Mm-hmm.
like where Cloris Leachman, who is the greatest witch of all time, Agatha, is duped by a man sitting on top of another man's shoulders
Oh
just with
yeah.
something over their eyes. Like
I'm not an adult. I'm just two men in a trench coat.
Mm-hmm.
literally.
They do
That
so
was
many good gags in that scene though too. Like with somebody they make a joke about like reading Stephen King at one point and like they
mhm.
have the ilk joke that keeps coming back. They bring it in that scene as well because in the beginning the gravedigger was like Celts and druids and their ilk and they're like what's ilk? And he explains it to them and then they like do it in the forest and then here and they're like and their ilk and it's like yeah. And they have a little side chatter between those 2 witches who are like besties. And it's like,
Those witches
oh,
are
do you
so
use the
funny.
microwave? No, it just doesn't brown the same when I'm doing
That
like
was so
my
funny.
yeah. They're doing so many little jokes, and it is they have their glee club, 2 guys and a ghoul glee club.
That was
Looks like
so
a good
funny.
party.
Did that guy have a split tongue?
Oh, I
Hot.
don't know. Can't
He
say
was
I
doing something
noticed.
crazy with his tongue, one of the ghouls or one of the guys. And I was horrified. I was like, this is the scariest part of the movie. I think those when you have a forked tongue, it's very cool, but it just scares me to think about the process of getting it done. And I'm
Are
also
you gonna be
confused.
awake until you're 21 because it scared you so much? That's a joke from the
Yeah,
movie.
I was like, I'm 31. So what are you saying?
He's like, remember how I used to not be able to sleep after fairy tales? I'm gonna be awake until I'm 21 after this.
Oh, I remember
But that's
that
when
part.
they go, guys, Fred and Marcia has a beautiful addition to their household, and it cuts to that bald couple, and then they're like, it's a goblin, and they're like, yeah, which is I love.
It's so cute. So cute. Man. Yeah. I was a little bit lost when the crow part happened, but
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like I was like, what is Mr. N trying to do? He's like gonna give it all up. And I was like, you could go through the building. Come on, man.
Try
And he
a
was like,
Yeah.
little harder.
just try before you give everything up to the witch lady.
It's like you can't quite tell exactly what his strategy is because he's like,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna tell her that the other twin has the moonstone, which
it
is
felt like he was throwing
true.
them under the bus.
It felt like he was trying to throw them off the trail, but also then they were like, no, he's trading them away, but also like he doesn't have the
Yeah.
twin with the moonstone to trade, so he's the twin with the wand. So it's like, wait, what were you doing? And then he's like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. And it's like, but what were you doing?
I don't know. It felt like not shady, but kind of shady. He was like, oh, like I'll
little
tell them to
suspicious.
go after the other twin. I don't know who was with who. I'm so sorry. Like, go after the other twin, and then we'll be safe. So it's like throwing them under the bus. I was like, Mr. N's got a lot to learn, but don't worry, he's gonna be turned into a crow, which will humble him.
Yeah, but
That's
when he
cute.
used his crow beak to poke a hole in the tire, that was good.
That was
Oh,
And they
yeah,
were
that
like,
was
the
great.
hole in this tire, it looks like it was made by a crow. And it's like, that's so real. That's so real, actually.
So funny. I
There were a
love
lot
it.
of times in my notes where I was like, that's so real. I need to find. Oh, yeah, Agatha, when she warmed her butt by the fire, I was like, she's so real
That
for
was
that.
so
That
funny.
is so real, actually.
They like lifted up her
Mhm.
whole skirt. I was like, this is amazing. You got to be cozy sometimes.
We've all done that.
And when they were nagging Mr. N and they were like, have you ever tried working for money? And he was like, hey, there are limits. And I was like, that's also so real though sometimes.
Mhm.
And when they were lost in the woods, they were like, we know where we are. We just don't know where everything else is. And I was like, that's real.
Yeah,
That's
that
so
part was really
real.
funny. That was so real. Though they're precocious little babes.
Yeah, I loved the gag though. I loved all of the gags when they're like, we're looking for two little twin witches, and everybody's like, where are they? And then the Kelly and Lynn are there, and they're just like, I'd love to get my hands on those twins.
Yeah, where are
And then
those
when
little brats?
where are those twins at? Yeah, and they cut back to them at one point, and they like pull the hoods back, and it's just piles of rope because they've escaped.
They
That's a
are
good
precocious
kid movie
little
gag.
babes.
That's a great one.
So many great
Got
gags.
him.
And when they are running away and you see that one car that has like the decal on it and it's like a witch on a broom, that is incredibly
Yes.
slay.
Also, like their Aunt Agatha's fancy ass car, and it
Yeah,
has
Mhm.
like
witch.
the witch on the front. That was so cool.
Exactly.
She knows what she's doing. But yeah, I think that like the showdown in this movie was actually a huge slay. That was actually, if there was tension, I was stressed out. I didn't know what was gonna happen. They duped me. There was a twist. Whoa, there's a lot going on.
Well, they're thinking because the one Lynn? No, Kelly, because Lynn is the one with the moonstone who goes to the house. So Kelly is the one with the wand with Aunt Agatha. She's thinking because Aunt Agatha is pretending to be Sophia, very smart, and she's being like, hey, it's me. I'm the good sister. I escaped. Your sister helped me escape. Come down here and be with me. And she's like, yeah, we can make our favorite cookies together. Chocolate chip, right, Sophia? And Sophia's like, totally, yeah. Because it's not really Sophia, it's Agatha. And her favorite cookies are cinnamon. Got her,
Everybody's
bitch.
favorite cookies should be cinnamon
Got her,
cookies.
bitch.
I also love the scene when whichever one it was, you just said, sorry, like conned the gravedigger into joining their ragtag group.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Oh,
she
the
was
lights went
like,
out.
she's like, oh, you're so scared. Like, we'll keep you company when you go with us over to Agatha's house. And he
Oh,
was
it's
like,
so sad.
damn,
The lights
she
went out at
got
your
me.
house and you're afraid of the dark, and that's why you live by tropical billboard. I don't know, girl. It's so scary here now that the lights are out. I guess it's time for us to go and leave you here alone in the dark unless you want to come with
Come
us.
with us.
Yeah.
So funny. They're good little actresses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
they
see
are.
why they built an empire.
Truly an empire.
Billionaires, baby, and they deserve every dime.
Absolutely.
But I think he had a really good line. It could have been Mr. N, but I think it was him. When they're like going away with him and they're like, let's go around the back, and he's like, let's go bowling. And it's like, yes, queen. Like,
That
he's
was
really
him.
he's really trying to just do his thing, but he's roped into adventure nonetheless.
And he was an important asset to the group, you know. He's providing crucial information that is needed.
Yeah. He's got the lore. He knows all the lore. He's like, there was a witch who lived here 200 years ago who was burnt at the stake, but before that she hid her moonstone somewhere in the house. The twins found it when they were young and 7 years old. One of them has it, one of them doesn't, and now one is trapped in a mirror, maybe inside the house. So
Maybe.
do it that way, you guys will. I'm just digging a grave. I don't know why.
I'm just
I don't ask
here with
questions.
the
I just
facts.
do what I'm told. Yeah.
I am just here being paid literally nothing to do activities because I'm scared.
She dangles dollar in my face and I go, please, may I have it? And she goes, no, you're poor and I'm rich. And he goes, okay. Which is the way the world works sometimes, you know? I did think it was it spoke to the general anti-capitalist ACAB nature of this film, that they're like, our 7-year-old twins are missing, we're gonna tell the police, and the police are like, they're 7, they're fine.
Right?
I guess we'll keep an eye out, but they're 7, so I think they're old enough to be on their own. It's fine.
7.
It's
When
so
they were
funny.
like, they're 7 and they left on their own, so they're fine. I'm like,
They left voluntarily. I'm
7,
sure they're
and
just
they
doing
left
a
on their
Halloween
own.
prank.
I was like, I don't think the runaway thing counts when you're 7.
When you're
Maybe
7,
when you're
I
a
think runaway
teen.
is actually more concerning. Yeah.
Yeah, they
It
are.
was the 90s,
7.
though.
Oh my
It was
god,
the 90s. It was the 90s. 7-year-olds could do whatever back then. They could drive cars.
Everybody knows that.
7 was the new 13. Come on.
Mhm. But it's so funny because it's like the cops are like, they're 7. It's literally fine. But then they bring those other 2 kids home to that house, and that mom is like, I'm sure it's fine. But you can tell that she doesn't think it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that she's like, this is I'm really glad it's not my kid who I let trick or treat by themselves.
It's scary stuff. It's scary stuff.
But they do good gags with that part too, because then the parents are driving over to check out Aunt Agatha's house because that one cop was like, I did see weird sighting. 2 twin girls who matched their description in a strange car with a ragtag group, and there was a crow. But she didn't think to check it out. She's like, I'll just let them go, and then I'll drive to the parents' house and I'll tell them, and it'll be their problem, not my problem. But when they're driving over, and they're like, Agatha wouldn't really hurt them, would she? She yelled at them, but she wouldn't do anything crazy, would she? And then it cuts to Agatha, and she's like, I'll boil the 2 of you in oil. Like, no, she's evil, guys. She's evil.
fully
She's
She mean
evil.
business.
She mean business. But I
Yeah.
liked the flashback too when Agatha curses Sophia, because her incantation is incredible. It's into the mirror, into the void. You've stirred up my ire. You've made me annoyed. And I was like,
Incredible.
that is,
Funny.
yeah, that is incredible. That is a work of art. And then she's like, oh, do you want any of my rat skull curry? And I was like, you're such a freak bitch, Agatha.
I love her.
And she's like eating bones actively as she asks
Mhm.
him that.
And earlier in the movie, she was like, George, draw me a bath, nice and cold. So you know she's evil.
Wow.
She wants a cold bath, and she eats
She's
rat skull
fucking
curry.
insane. She just likes to do her little polar plunge. It gets the juices flowing, gets the magic moving in her body, you know?
It's good for the vagal nerve.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Mhm.
protect her from insult, because she's like, I'll turn you into a snail. And Lynn is like, not. And she's like, how dare you hit me with a knot? Oh my God. Got her ass.
Got her good.
The best insult, though, comes from Mr. N, I think, when he's a crow. Maybe he gets turned back at this point, but I don't. Yeah, no, he might be turned back at this point, but he's like, hunt this ugly. And that to me is iconic. I love that line. I used it as an Instagram caption a couple of years ago for a Halloween post.
If there were still quotes, if we still did quotes, that would be our closing quote.
Hunt this
100%.
ugly.
So fucking funny. He's so cunty as the crow.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes sense. It just makes sense. I loved the whole part where Kelly/Lynn, which one? The one that was not being held captive, was like, you got a pinky swear, double
Mhm.
promise, stick a needle in your eye, move your
Shake
bottom if you got him. I was like, I
Mhm.
never heard that part before. But
Loved
I
it.
love that, like, Agatha's like, I'm evil, so it doesn't fucking matter. She's like,
But
I
you
don't have a
crossed your
heart.
heart. Well, that doesn't count. I don't have a heart.
So fucking funny.
Psych.
Got him. She was giving, I noticed this right around that part. She's really giving Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers in this movie.
Yes.
Another thing I haven't seen.
I feel like it's coming up for me. Like I'm getting like clips somewhere on my internet experience of Power Rangers lately, maybe on TikTok.
I love the OG Power Rangers.
I don't know why, but
Hey,
popping back up.
that sounds great. If you like Power Rangers, you should experience more Power Rangers. That's what I've always said.
I've heard you say that so many times, actually.
So many times.
I'm saying
it's like
it
a really
a lot.
common Monica saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying it a lot. I'm saying it a lot, especially these days.
Especially
going
these
on.
days.
In this current climate. Yeah. I love a kids movie though. I haven't watched a kids movie in so fucking long. So I forgot like the vibe, you know.
Yeah.
A 90s kids movie in particular. But I love it when
this movie was like scary when you
This
were
movie
like
was scary.
really little.
Oh, I bet. Cloris Leachman's so mean. She said,
such a bitch.
psych. I don't even care about the fucking Pinky Promise we just did. That's unforgivable. Are you kidding me? That was the age when you believed adults. This adult was like, fuck you. Horrifying. Horrifying. Terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, she got their asses.
But I just love the wholesomeness of like the resolution that it's just like, we love each other and that is what will save the day.
Yeah, because like the incantation had to come from their hearts.
Yeah, because I was stressed out. I was like, how the fuck are they going to know an incantation?
They tried
just found out
Jacuzzi
they were-
Jacuzzi abracadabra and it didn't work.
I was sure Jacuzzi Jacuzzi would work. That always works
That
every
always
time.
works.
In my experience, Jacuzzi Jacuzzi has never failed me. I was like, they're fucked. It's gonna have a bad ending. It's gonna have a sad ending because Jacuzzi Jacuzzi didn't work.
Jacuzzi Jacuzzi, no slay.
I can't believe though how smart they were with the clock thing. That was genius.
Got
was really smart.
I bought us 5 minutes so that she would reveal once it was too late how we could break the curse, and then I utilized that against her.
That's so
I
smart.
knew what happened.
That's like God tier smart. Yeah, that didn't actually work out that way, but she had her guard down and she didn't snatch back the moonstone because she was too busy being a pompous witch. Oh, I was gonna say bitch. But I got to do that little thing. That's always fun to do. And they just were their authentic selves. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
You just speak from the heart, everything will be fine. Unless you don't have a heart like Agatha, then you say mean
That's why
things.
she's fucked. That's why she's fucked in the end.
That's why she's fucked.
That's why they say, oh, actually, it's totally fine that she gets trapped in the mirror and then the mirror shatters into 1,000 pieces. And Aunt Sophia, who's the nice aunt, but is finally standing up against her abuser so she can be as cunty as she wants, goes, oh, where's Agatha? She decided to go on a long journey. She needed time to reflect. Like,
that was so cunty. That was so funny.
Got her.
That was so funny. I love also how she was like, I heard you have money problems and I'm here to help you. And Don was like, so being a man about it, he was like, we'll pay with interest. And she's like, whatever you want. And I'm like, why did you just do that to yourself? Why'd you do that to yourself, Don? You didn't have to pay interest. And now you have to pay interest.
Yeah, they kind of have like a little bit of a silly resolution with the Gravedigger and Mr. N and Oscar the Magic Clown because they go up to each of them. It's kind of like a little Wizard of Ozzy where they're like, you needed to learn that you're fabulous, so you're fabulous. And you needed to learn to be brave, and you were brave. And you needed to... We wish we could give... They don't like say, Mr. N, you needed to learn a lesson. They just go, we wish we could give you $1 million. And he goes, money's not everything. And it's like, well, but it is some things. But thankfully, Aunt Sophia is like, this house can be like a second home for everybody. And so you kind of can just assume that like things are cool for him after this. Maybe he gets to live in house. Maybe Gravedigger gets to live in house. I don't know.
Interesting. I really liked Oscar and Gravedigger being turtles and the way that it looked when they
Yeah, the way he's
became
like,
not turtles anymore. And he was like, "Where's my bow tie?" And it was on his head. I
yeah,
liked that a
that's
lot.
one of my favorite parts. I love that.
That was
Yeah.
a beautiful visual gag. I was like, it's
Mhm.
working on me in my advanced age, and it would work on me as a fucking 3-year-old. I would have been 0 when this came out. No, I would have been 6 months old when this came out. So would have been a little before my time.
You would have loved it. You would have really appreciated every
6
gag in
months
this
old
movie.
me would have been like, whoa.
Cackling. Yeah, first laugh right off the bat, this
I
movie.
would have been like, goo goo gaga. My first word would have
Your
been
first word would
Mary-Kate
have been
and Ashley
jacuzzi,
Olsen.
Jacuzzi.
First word, jacuzzi, jacuzzi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Magic, that would be powerful.
That'd be
I would be a
powerful.
witch if I had seen this 6 months old. I would have enacted my power.
Mm-hmm. The end of this movie is so cute and funny to me, though, because it's like the 7-year-olds for some reason are the ones up in the attic cleaning broken glass. But
Everybody else having a
it's
tea
cool
party.
because they're dressed as individuals and they even have their own hairstyles now.
I do love that we see George and Sophia doing some
And
little,
they
like,
cannot keep their hands off
smoochies.
each other. They gotta make up
They
for
love it.
7 years of lost time.
Yeah. Let them live. Let them speak their truth.
And then they bring down the parasol so that they can keep going.
Very demure.
Very demure. Having a parasol in general, very demure.
Totally. Any more thoughts on the general film before we move into our segments?
Yeah, I love that the last thing spoken is I hate Halloween.
Because it's from the evil witch. So that means Halloween is good.
Okay, it's time to ask the age-old question. How could this movie be gayer? I got a vibe from Oscar and Mr. N for one second. There was a moment, and I think it was when they were like deciding to do their plan where Oscar sat on Mr. N's shoulder, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Might have just been
Oscar,
that they
I
were
think, is
talking to each other.
pansexual.
Oscar is definitely pansexual. That earring and that vest combination tells me that.
It's giving pansexual. The Gravedigger, I
Part of
think,
his sex appeal.
asexual.
Yeah.
Asexual,
I feel that.
aromantic. He's not really here for that. That's not his interest.
That's not his thing. That's not his thing. He's doing a lot of digging holes, and that's what he's passionate about. And telling
Mr.
stories
N?
and being skittish.
Yeah, Mr. N, bisexual. Madame Lulu, non-binary.
Mr. N, certainly bisexual. Because I feel you with the Lulu vibes.
Yeah, they're giving me exes vibes.
Yeah. There's definitely.
Where she's like, I'm interested in paying customers. And he's like, do you want me to tell all these bitches that you're a fraud? Because I'll tell all these bitches that you're a fraud.
Wow.
They've got dirt on each other. You know what I mean? It was like they had intimacy at one point and they shared secrets. And so now they've got leverage, but they have some tenderness still, but also they've got so much animosity. You bitch.
Tension. You can cut it with a knife.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think they're like not amicable exes, but they still like kind of get a kick out of each other. You know what I mean?
I get it. There's still a connection there at some type, but it's not one that they would ever pursue again.
Yeah. Fred and Marcia, who had the gremlin baby, those are 2 non-binary partners.
I accept that. I'm there with that. Damn, there's so many queers in this movie.
Agatha, that's a lesbian.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Mean lesbian, 100%.
100%.
And maybe if she had met a mean lesbian who could match her freak, this movie would be totally different. You know what I mean? She'd be like, maybe I do want love. But she just never met somebody who was like quite on her level. And that's why she's like, ugh, Sophia wants to be in love. That's disgusting. And with a man. So
of all things.
Yeah. Of all the people you could be in love with, a man. So That's what was happening there.
100%. 100%. And her sister is very straight, incredibly straight. Important to have straight representation in this film with so many queer characters around.
She's the token straight in the movie.
Yeah.
You have to have at least one, I guess.
And it's Sophia.
It's Sophia. Okay, that leads us to where would Matthew Lillard fit into this film?
I mean, Eric McCormack is doing a good job as Don the dad, but Matthew Lillard also could have done very young Don the dad, but could have pulled it off, I think.
I would have loved for him to be the grave digger.
That's exactly what I was thinking. A young Matthew Lillard as the grave digger. Or how young was he? He was probably too old. Baby him at the party, at the pumpkin carving party.
Yeah, I know he's like 23 at this time.
Yeah. 23-year-old him would be the gravedigger for sure.
Yeah.
Young, gangly, and haunted. He could be just as haunted as Wayne Robson, you know?
Love that for him.
Or he could have been just like one of the guys at the in like the witches glee in the witches glee club specifically.
Yes. One of the two guys with the ghoul
who gets the pumpkin stuck on his head in the pumpkin truck accident.
The biker.
Oh my God. You just want us to not know at all that it's Matthew Lillard.
You see his face for 2 seconds and then he gets pumpkin. Yeah. And you go, wait, was that Matthew Lillard? I can't tell because he has a pumpkin on his head now.
Too bad that he wasn't in this. It would have been a high profile look for him in 93. Man who you see face for half of 1 second before pumpkin lands on it.
That's how they would credit him on IMDb. Yeah.
Very succinct. Very succinct. Okay. Who's the dumb bitch?
Agatha.
Yeah, she got duped by 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
She's the most powerful witch in the coven, and she got duped by 2 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
She got duped by them just loving each other.
She underestimated the power of love, which is a classic villain mistake. These bitches really think just because they undervalue love that it has no value. And it's like, that is your personal ethos. That does not apply at large to the universe.
Too true.
Villains frequently defeated by the power of love. She's just another victim to it.
Falling into the same trap as many before her. Oh, Agatha, you're the dumb bitch for sure. All right. I know that this is an Oscar award-winning film. So it's time for
an
Emmy.
It did get nominated for 1994 Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Music Composition for a Miniseries or a Special. Mary-Kate and Ashley also won a 1994 Young Artist Award for Best Youth Actress. They shared it. I wonder as twins how they felt about that. But they shared it for Best Youth Actress in a TV miniseries, MOW, don't know what that means, or special. And I think this technically qualified as a special because it was a TV movie. That said, because it is a TV movie, it has no critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes because only one critic rated it. So they said we can't make a judgment off of this.
Can we do it? We're critics.
We're critics, so we're going to get our rating on there.
Hell yeah.
But it does have 56% rotten from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 5.8 out of 10 rating on IMDb, which, like, you know, I'm not saying those are unfair, but I do feel like it doesn't represent, like, how delightful this movie is. And you could give it that rating, but you have to say it's delightful nonetheless, so.
Okay. Who was rating this movie first?
Okay, I'll go. From my childhood, I will say this movie is a 5 out of 5, and that it is still delightful and it still stands up. And I loved it when I was young, and I love it now, and I love it whenever I watch it. But obviously, it has flaws. So realistically, I will give it like a 4.3 knives out of 5s because there's things that could have been improved and changed over time, and things that even in the 90s, you know, like, again, they did Mr. N a little dirty.
Yeah.
And like the costumes that they give Kelly and Lynn are like kind of offensive as well. And I see why they chose them to give them absolute full coverage so that they could swap costumes
Oh,
with two
yeah.
children of
They
completely
were.
different races and the parents would not be able to tell. But those costumes are also a little offensive. So they lose a couple points. But very cute movie, so funny, so delightful. I love it. I still love to watch it. I just think it is it's camp. A lot of it is camp. The Witches Gathering, everything about it, camp.
Camp. I feel that.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5 because I did like the substance more than I liked this. And if I gave the substance 3.5, I have to rate accordingly. But 5 out of 5 for like nostalgia feels. Like I did have a very, very good time. Like this is a lovely, like feel good, like turn your brain off, like
Little
fun
cutesy.
movie. Right? Like this is a great movie to have on like when you're cooking dinner. Right?
Yeah, like
it's
earlier you were
Yeah.
like, this is totally a cozy
Carving
in bed
cozy,
movie.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's a cozy bed movie. Like you're like decorating for a Halloween party. Okay, like I'm putting this on and it's gonna play, right? Like it's
Mhm.
right up there with like everybody should watch this movie when it is a festive season. As soon as I have a child, we will be watching this movie and they'll never know anything's problematic except we will be like, this is
Maybe you're gonna have some conversations afterwards, but
yeah. But like not until they're way older because if they're 7, they probably won't
they're
understand
not gonna
anything. So it's
they're
fine.
dumb. They're 7, so
They're 7.
Hey, I don't know. You saw what Mary-Kate and Ashley did
7-year-olds
in
are pretty
this?
smart in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Don't undersell them. I'm right there with Sydney on this one. I'm also gonna give this a 3, but a loving 3. Okay, a
Mhm.
loving 3.
I have no beef with 3.
Yeah, no, it was cute. It was super cute. I liked it. That's pretty much it. I
She
wasn't
has
like
nothing
I
else
did.
to
All I've
say.
got to say, yeah.
That's pretty much it for me. It doesn't like hit me in the nostalgia place because I had
Yeah.
never seen it before. I'm sure I would have been like, you know what I mean? But like it didn't
Yeah.
harken back to anything for me, but it definitely captures that like beautiful feeling of fall. And it was just fun to see a
90s
kids movie
Halloween.
again. Yeah, with the 90s jokes. And I just honestly my favorite parts were when Mary-Kate or Ashley broke the fourth wall. That shit was so fucking funny to me. It was hilarious. I was like, "Hello, Mary-Kate. We're looking into each other's eyes." There's one point where whichever one it was supposed to look sad because like something sad was happening, and she really went right into the camera, frowny into the camera, and it was
He said, "Look sad, Mary-Kate," and she went,
she was like really hamming it up. She was like, I'm doing it. And I was like, yes, queen, go off. Incredible. 10 out of 10. This is not a criticism.
"Thank you,
This was
Mary-Kate. You're
my
doing
favorite
great."
part.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was fantastic. So
I'll make you watch It Takes Two next because that's actually my favorite Olsen Twins movie.
I want to watch New York Minute too. I heard that one was really good.
No, I don't like that
No,
one as
it
much.
sucks.
Well,
Okay.
it makes me mad. I mean, it is good, but It Takes Two is the best one. It makes me a little bit mad because the exciting twin is named Roxy or Roxanne, and the boring twin is named Jane. And I'm like, their parents didn't know that when they were born as babies. They didn't know which one was going to be adventurous and which one was going to be studious.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Okay.
Names will shape you, which is why names are so important. So because they name
So
their children
true.
that, they develop
Self-fulfilling
personalities around their
prophecy.
names. I'm just saying names are so
What parents are
important.
picking out the names Roxy and Jane to go together? I was like, this is absurd.
Roxanne
What?
and Jane would go together.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and I was like, maybe their grandmothers are both named Roxanne and Jane. I mean, you don't know
Yeah.
where they got the names from, so I can justify. But It Takes Two is the best one because they're
Yes.
identical strangers, which is such a funny little premise.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not secret twins, they're just identical strangers.
Yeah. It Takes Two
Love it.
is
And the romance
best.
between Steve Gutenberg and Kirstie Alley, actually fucking top tier.
Kirstie
Yeah.
Alley?
Kirstie
Yeah,
Alley.
like
And
peak
she's so
Kirstie
cute
Alley.
in it. Oh my god, she's so cute in it.
I'm looking for that World Series kind of love.
World Series kind of
Okay, I'm interested.
Yay.
Okay,
We'll
well,
make an
that's
Olsen twins fan of her yet.
I'm not a fan. I'm a huge fan of
But you're not a
Elizabeth
fan.
Olsen. I actively
Yeah.
follow her career. Like, I go out of my way to watch her shit. I watched her fucking
Mhm.
Facebook show. Okay, I'm serious.
I watched that
Yeah.
too, actually.
It was fucking incredible, moving rumination on grief. What is it fucking called?
I don't
Hold
remember, but
on.
it was really good.
I'm
She
looking this
made
up, 'cause
guest
that was-
cameo in Brother for Sale.
Yeah, she does.
I watched this show like right after my mom died, and it like really
Ooh.
helped me like get through it. Fuck, what was it? Boo, 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 boo. Sorry for your loss. Very clearly named.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. It was really fucking good. I don't know where you can watch it because it was on fucking Facebook, but
It
But
was
But
she
she
good
was
though.
great in
When they did
WandaVision.
shows?
And WandaVision spin-off Agatha All Along. Which
Yeah.
movie with Agatha? Or it's not, you know what I'm saying, but Agatha is a name for an evil witch who maybe has an interesting story to tell.
I don't watch Marvel movies, and I watched WandaVision because of Elizabeth Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
And
She's
it was
very
also
talented.
a wonderful rumination
She's
on
very
grief.
talented. Ingrid Goes West, incredible movie.
Ingrid goes
Aubrey
west.
Plaza's in that, and now she's in
Ingrid
Agatha All Along.
Goes West should be a Fifth
A Fifth
Tuesday movie
Tuesday.
for us.
I agree.
It has themes that could make it a normal movie for the podcast too, honestly.
I suggested it when we did Obsession Month last year.
Yeah. And I would have loved that.
Didn't
That
make
would've
it
been
on,
great.
but who knows? Sometime in the future, perhaps.
Big Olsen stands over here. Big Olsen
Olsen
stands.
stands.
Big Olsen stands. But we're switching gears. Do we have a name for this? No. Okay, we're just gonna vibe and then we're gonna figure out
Yes,
the
we
name
do
together.
have names.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure if we were decided. Hold on. Okay, I have an idea.
We're locked in.
Okay, we're locked in on the name, but let me say my little thing
your
I've been
spiel.
Do your
thinking about
spiel.
to spiel it. All right, so what's today? It's Halloween. It's almost Halloween. It's
It's
Halloween
almost
week.
Halloween.
It's almost Halloween. We're having a wonderful time. But then on Friday, it's not Halloween anymore. It's just fucking November. And okay, there's some cool stuff to look forward to if you like Christmas, but I'm not big on Christmas. Thanksgiving, that can be stressful. What's
There is the
happening
Iron
now?
Bowl, which could go 50-50, but neither of y'all are sports fans, so
Oh, I was like,
I have
what's
no idea.
that?
I've never heard those words before in my life. I have no idea what that is.
wow.
I
It's the
don't
Auburn
watch
Alabama
football.
game that happens the Saturday after Thanksgiving every single year.
Well, you have that to look forward to, I guess. But for some of us who thrive in the sun, we're looking down the barrel of 3 to 4 months, depending on what you you decide is the amount of time of winter. Three
This
to
is
4
how I
months
feel
of sadness.
when this happens. I feel full Mary-Kate Olsen.
She's breaking the fourth wall and she's frowning so big. We're in the season of seasonal depression, but oh my god, I think we might have found the cure. Did we? We
Yeah.
might
Did
have.
we?
I
did?
I think we did. Because we got a little idea. We had like this spawned from us wanting to do a theme month, and then we thought there's no
Is
way to
1
fit
month
this into
enough?
1 month. We literally cannot fit this into 1 month. I
1
wouldn't
month is
want to.
not
No one would
enough.
want us to. And
Mhm.
so we thought, what if we do it just for as many months as we deem? but just a little bit, just not all the time. It's not going to be like three months straight of this. It's just going to be sprinkled in. But what is it? What is it? What's the cure to seasonal depression?
It's werewolf versus vampire seasonal depression event. And you know how we had to start it off? The ultimate werewolf versus vampire and ultimate seasonal depression movie, Twilight New Moon.
Twilight New Moon.
Twilight New
Where the blank
Moon.
pages just fly by.
There's a possibility.
Camera panning.
There's a possibility.
If you're like, don't you guys usually do Twilight for Fifth Tuesday and you just did Fifth Tuesday and now
Oh,
it's
so
normal
did we.
episode? Go fuck yourself because it's a
Go
monster
fuck
movie.
Literally go fuck
and this is our
yourself.
podcast.
This is a monster
So-
fucker movie, okay?
It's a
We
monster
have
fucker movie.
seasonal-
It's a monster movie. It's werewolf versus vampire. It's seasonal depression. It's really, we couldn't have started this event off with any other film.
We're sad that Halloween is over. Let us have this.
We need
Palooza
this.
is over.
We
We
really
really
need
enjoy.
You try and take this away, just see what happens.
Just see what happens, because
You
it's gonna
wanna
get really
fucking
ugly
find
really
out.
fast.
Yeah, you're gonna really, they'll
You
be the
thought
biggest
Chelsea
mistake you've ever
was
made.
Scary. Now all three
thought
of
I
us
was-
are
yeah.
together on this.
I'll go
Absolutely
full
not.
nuclear.
It's not even just rage, it's like sad rage that you would experience. It's gonna be messy, and don't
Feminine
worry.
rage. Okay.
Thankfully, we'll also be joined by an expert, because next week we will be joined by, you might know her from TikTok. I kind of feel like she's like the Twilight expert on TikTok.
I consider
I
her
think
the
she
Twilight
is.
expert.
Yeah, her name is Sarah Elizabeth Gallagher. She has her own podcast these days called Actually Obsessed, but she made her name talking about Twilight, knowing all of the inner facts about Twilight, sharing them all the crazy shit that you forget about, like the fact that when they kiss, it sounds like porcelain clinking.
I love all her
I
fun
watched
facts.
that video today.
Yeah, she's got all the details down. So we're so excited to have her help as we go through Twilight New Moon, which is one of the best Twilight movies, actually. So I'm really excited
It
to do
plays
it.
so hard. That is
It
my
plays so
favorite
hard.
Twilight book. And we have some very excitingly themed exclusive content from my recent trip to Italy. That is very
Ooh.
timely, actually. I'm so excited that this worked out, that I could go to Montepulciano for the podcast.
Montepulciano!
Montepulciano.
Mhm.
Now you can't get it out of your head.
But yeah, this is gonna be a really, really fun way to fight off the blue period of winter with Werewolf versus Vampire Month. It will be sporadic.
Seasonal event, seasonal depression event.
Seasonal event.
Werewolf versus
If we say
depression.
month, just know that we mean seasonal
Werewolf
depression event.
Werewolf versus depression is what I just said. That's what it's called.
So close.
You guys get the gist. You get it. You look.
Werewolf
We're
versus
experiencing
vampire.
seasonal depression. We can't be
depression
held up to the standard of
event.
saying the event name correctly every time. First of all, it's a
Werewolf
mouthful.
versus vampire seasonal depression event. How many words? Werewolf versus vampire.
It started as werewolf
seasonal
versus vampire
depression
month.
event. That is
We kept
6 words, and
a
it's a
lot going
hashtag.
on, okay? But like, look, for all the sad months, we're just gonna be here, and we're gonna be talking werewolves, and
Yeah.
we're gonna be talking vampires, and we're starting it by talking about werewolves versus vampires. So
It's gonna be so sexy. It's gonna be so
it's gonna
sexy.
be
I'm very excited.
sexy.
I've never been excited for winter before, and now I am.
This is the only
Now
thing
we
that's
have
getting
something
me
to look
hyped.
forward to.
Big, big, big. So
Big.
you're welcome in advance for curing your seasonal depression. And join us on this journey that is rather amorphous, and there aren't that many details, but you know the main ones.
You'll get it. You'll get the gist. You'll get the
Vampire.
feeling for
You'll
it.
know.
Seasonal depression event. That's probably the most important word
Yeah.
that we added on
Yeah,
10 minutes before we
yeah.
started this episode. But yeah, thank you so much. Here's the other thing. I don't think there's poll questions anymore. I don't think
they're
there's
gone.
There's no more poll questions anymore on Spotify. So we're not going to do that anymore. But we do poll questions from time to time on social media because Chelsea loves to use the question feature on Instagram. So you can
to
still answer a
engage
question.
you.
Exactly. So we say goodbye to the poll question and we move on to asking you to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It's season 5. Let us remind you, 5 seasons, 5 stars. It just makes
Whoa.
sense.
It
You
feels
can
right in
say,
my heart.
I'm so excited for you to cure my seasonal depression. You could say that. Or you could wait till next week and be like, wow, you did it. You did cure
You did it!
That
Yay!
That 6-word event you just described cures my seasonal depression. Pretty exciting.
Even just hearing the name of it, I was feeling better.
Well, big. And we're really happy for you. That's what we always wanted. That was the point of this. Anyway, why not also follow us on social media at spooky_Tuesday on pretty much everything except for Facebook and Tumblr, where we are Spooky Tuesday Pod. Just put a .com after that, spookytuesdaypod.com, and you will have a one-stop shop for everything Spooky Tuesday. It's very, very beautiful over there. Check out our blog post to see what is coming up next week and all the details, all the references, every single thing, and our beautiful new artwork. Look at it all big.
It's gorgeous.
It's so gorgeous. Honestly, I just stare at it sometimes.
I know, it's
Um,
so cool.
It's so cool. And also, we're on YouTube and we're looking rather cute today. We have a raccoon, fox, rat hybrid. But at the end of the day, she's Mary-Kate and she's also Ashley. It's Chelsea Duff.
I am the
everyone.
cute one. It's
She's the cu-
obvious. That's another reference for you.
It's beautiful. I'm a witch. And Sydney is also
A
a witch. And we're celebrating Halloween. You got to do it. You got to wear an outfit. And you can see all of that on our YouTube channel. So please subscribe. And at the end of the day, I have to say thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye, spookies.
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Haidt, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Great18. That's GR818_. And our podcast art is by Ryan Brom, who you can follow on Instagram at Ryan Brom Art. That's RyanBrommArt. Learn more about Spooky Tuesday at spookytuesdaypod.com and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday.